Today we are going to be taking a look at all things bartering, and when I say all things bartering, I mean it. Holy moly, that's a lot of barters just sitting on the floor. Maybe we should slow this down here. Okay, we'll turn that off for a little while. Allow our sorting machine to catch up here. Before we get started in today's video, I want to say thank you to those of you who are subscribed to the channel. Also, a humongous thank you to those of you who have joined the channel as a member. You guys get access to videos early whenever they are finished editing. I try to get them up as fast as I can for you guys, so thank you so much for your support. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and like I mentioned, we're going to be taking a look at all things bartering from the new mob in 1.16. I'm so glad that 1.16 is actually released, and maybe people are actually looking for bartering now that the update is available for everybody to play, not just those of us who download the snapshots. So what is bartering? First off, whenever you have a piglin, which is not the pigmen, not the zombified pigmen, or piglins, they are now called zombified piglins. Whenever you have one of them, you can just toss them a bit of gold and they will throw you back something after considering that gold. So here I am in survival mode, and we're gonna throw down a piglin here with a spawn egg really quickly. And what you'll notice is, because I am not wearing any type of armor, the piglin will get mad at me. And you can actually break this anger with gold. So we're gonna throw this guy down. He's gonna notice me, get mad. And if I throw gold on the ground, he's going to stop attacking me and pick up the gold. So you can use this to your advantage. Now I've gone ahead and worn some gold here on my helmet, just like this guy is. So not only can you stop an attack, but of course you can get all the things we're about ready to talk about, which is all of the trades from the piglin. Now, it is important to note that you can throw lots of gold things at this pig here. I threw a helmet just before. Now, he doesn't give you a barter for a helmet. It's really only gold in terms of like the gold ingots there. So that that little nugget right there, he grabbed it, but that was about it. This carrot, he's looking at it, but he's not going to give me a trade back for that carrot. That is only going to be for the ingots themselves. You can either throw these ingots onto the ground, which, by the way, they do this really cool considering animation for a little while, and then they'll throw you back something. Or you can just click on a piglin to initiate that trade. So now let's talk about, well, what is it that you actually get back for that trade? So you can see he's been tossing me all sorts of stuff. We got some string, brick, some enchanted books, or just an enchanted book, and crying obsidian. So let's talk about what are all the possible things that they may trade with me. So right here I have a whole bunch of chests, and each one of these chests includes what their maximum trade would be. So there's also a percentage on the top of each of these chests. So this is close to a 10% chance that you're going to get one of these things. You have close to a 4% chance that you're going to get one of these things. 2, 1, and 1. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, wait a second, that doesn't add up. Like, that doesn't lead up to 100%. Well, that's because it's for each one of these items, and then that would equal up to 100%. But it's approximate. It's about that much. So, like I mentioned, this is the maximum number of things that they can give you. So, with a fire charge specifically, they could give you 1 fire charge or up to 5 fire charges. Some things like gravel do have a minimum number, like the minimum number is at least 8. They'll never give you less than 8 gravel, but I didn't really represent that here. But so these are the maximum number of things that you can get. So once again, 10% chance that you're gonna get one of these things. And you can see that soul sand and nether bricks really do take up a lot of space in here. So you're going to be getting a lot of soul sand and a lot of nether bricks. Next, at a 5% chance per, you have nether quartz, glowstone dust, magma cubes, ender pearls, and string. Then at a 2.3% chance, you have iron nuggets. And that's a ton of iron nuggets. although the minimum iron nuggets is 9. So you're basically guaranteed a iron ingot every time they toss you some iron nuggets, which is pretty awesome. And also the fire resistance potion. Fire resistance potions, these are at a level of 3, or a time amount of 3. Next, at a 1.89% chance, you're going to get some iron boots with the soul speed enchantment on them. That is a random level of that enchantment. And then at the very end, at just around 1% chance, you're going to get a soul speed enchanted book. Once again, that is a random level of enchantment. So that might be soul speed 1, 2, or 3. So what does that look like practically? Sometimes these like numbers don't really make sense to me, so I don't like to use them. Well, right here I have this one pig in a bartering chamber, which I've showed off before on OMG Craft, and I'll show it again how to make this really quickly because it's pretty simple. But all of these different barters have been accumulating in this chest here. So you can see practically what this looks like if you were to set something like this up. You see a lot of fire resistance potions, and that is mostly because they take up a single slot. So if you were to try to remove all of those potions out of there, it's not nearly as like, oh my gosh, there's like only fire resistance potions. Also, you do have a few things trapped in these hoppers here along the side, so just keep that in mind. Same thing with the boots, but there you go. Also, this has used a lot of gold, like an awful lot of gold, because I've at least filled up this dispenser here like twice. So we basically almost used an entire chest full of gold here to get this, what, 2 chests worth of items. So keep that in mind too, that we are using an absurd amount of gold to pull off this amount of material. But to point out some kind of nice things, that's quite a lot of obsidian, quite a lot of crying obsidian, and a ton of ender pearls, where if you're trying to go to the end and you don't have enough ender pearls yet, that can be such a tedious task to get lots of ender pearls. If you have gold lying around, you may just want to throw gold at the problem and get ender pearls as a result. I didn't even realize that the top chest is also filled. I guess that was because I didn't build the other chests early, or maybe they've been filling because Hopper has been pulling and depositing at the same time. I just added those in there because I was going to deposit all my stuff up here. But you got another chest full up here, so you can see that it is quite, oh gosh, yeah, yes, that chest, no, stop it, there we go. So anyway, that is a better example of everything. Also, I wanted to set this up with an item sorter just to kind of get another idea, and this item sorter, I think I have like overwhelmed this item sorter because there's just so many items that I ran through here. But here is another practical look. In this chest, we have a whole bunch of soul sand. Here we got some, yeah, see, I totally have broken my item sorter somehow. Crying obsidian, some nether bricks. I think that this is supposed to be fire charges. Yeah, totally. This item sorter is not the best design. I'm embarrassed. Okay, I just manually sorted everything. It's definitely having problems with the ender pearls, obviously, because they take up like a different weight value inside of the hopper, and then item sorters can't really sort out like potions because you can't really stack them. Anyway, I've manually sorted it, so you'll get a visual representation. Here's all the soul sand. Here's all of the quartz. You got crying obsidian. You got your fire charges. You got your leather, your string, lots of gravel, lots of iron nuggets. You got some glowstone, a ton of bricks, some obsidian again, some magma cream. You got a whole bunch of ender pearls. Remember, these are stacked in 16, so it's actually, I mean, it's a ton of ender pearls, but it's less than what, you know, that would look like if it was stacked that much. 3 different soul speed books. 2 of them are soul speed 3. Got a whole bunch of iron boots, a whole bunch of resistance potions, and even more resistance potions over here. So that is sort of a look at what was organized so far. We still have a whole bunch more stuff that needs to be organized, but there you go. That is another way to determine how much of any one item you may get. So let's take a look at building this bartering chamber. This is probably the easiest design that I've seen that you can make, and I like it because basically whenever you get gold at any point, you just kind of run on over here, you open it up, throw your gold in, and then the whole thing sort of works out on its own. So this is everything that you need in order to make it. The gold is obviously at your discretion, but everything else is, you know, something that is required. So let's go ahead and start. We are going to want to make a hole for all of our chests. I have this design taking up a 6 chest situation, but it could really be expanded or minimized to whatever you would like. So we're gonna put down our chests, and we're gonna come over to the side, and we're gonna put down our hoppers pointing into all of those chests. Then, that's it for the hoppers, we're gonna take our carpet and set it directly on top of there. Then we're going to make a cage for our piglin, and in this cage, you're gonna wanna leave one spot open. And if you want to, what you can do is take a torch and set it right here. And that way, anything dropped onto this hopper will not be sucked up into the hopper. We're going to use that torch in a different location. Then you can take some of your gold and sort of lure a piglin into this area. Not a baby. That's bad. You don't want a baby. You want an adult. There we go. And then you put down some gold. He'd run over, consider it. You might want to throw another one directly into there. Once he gets rid of that one, he'll toss something to you, and then hopefully he'll notice this gold. Come on, my friend. There's gold up. There you go. Perfect. By the way, if you want to save on gold, you can use nuggets. If you happen to have some like chest pieces or boots or helmets lying around, you can use those to lure a pigman as well. And it has the added benefit of whenever he puts on that item, then they will not despawn. So you're gonna do that at least once to whatever pig that you trap. That's one way to sort of get it over to the area you want it to go to. Once you have it there and it is looking at that gold, you're gonna wanna put down a bit of soul sand there, and that will keep the piglin trapped, but also will be useful so that they can pull the gold through the block, but they won't accidentally toss an item up onto the top of the block, which is where we need our gold to rest to activate our dispenser setup. Now, one problem is that this piglin who is here, oh, by the way, you want to make sure that you give them something so they won't despawn the first moment that you go away. By the way, once they're in there with the soul sand, you can remove that torch, because if you ever need to hand them another thing, like let's say even you forgot to give them an item so they don't despawn, just set it on top of the soul sand, and then you can walk away and they'll be able to pick that up, and they won't accidentally, that item won't go through the system, which is kind of nice. So now that they're there, you have a weird problem that you can't put a block above them. So you need to put down a few temporary blocks, then put down even one more temporary block. There we go. Put down a piston facing downwards, then glass in front of that, and then that's what this piston and button are useful for. And then you can put the button on the side and then push it, and it'll get crushed onto that guy's head right there. And now he will not be able to escape, and he also won't throw any items up onto the edges of our build here. Next, we need to put down a dispenser facing towards the pig. Then we need to put down a pressure plate and then a redstone torch on the back of that soul sand block. Now it's time for you to add your gold to the dispenser. Add as much as you want. And then what I like to do is just take this redstone torch, break it, and then place it back. And whenever you place it back, it will fire out the gold. Then the gold sitting on the pressure plate will turn the torch off. And then the moment that the pig realizes that there's gold there, he'll pick it up, which starts the torch off again and fires another piece of gold to start the whole process. The gold will be there for 5 minutes, and this piglin will obviously pick it up much quicker. By the way, the carpet on top of the hopper is important, because otherwise, if they get sunk into the hopper, into the middle of it, they won't be able to reach that gold. So they do need to be standing on that carpet in order to get the gold. They can stand on a normal block, but unfortunately, because the hopper has that sort of dip in it, if they happen to stand in that, then they won't ever pick up that gold. So you do need that carpet right there. So what'll happen is when they drop things that have lots of items in them, like this gravel right here, half of the items will go down into the bottom chest, and then half of the items will go into the top chest, which is why I was kind of surprised that there was items in the top chest. I forgot that that happens with hoppers. If you don't want that to happen, you kind of need a regulation hopper in the way. So just have this all offset by 1 and have an extra hopper there so that it'll only push 1 item at a time, and then you could have your inventory going down. I don't find that it's that big of a deal, so I just let them split the items in between them, and already we are getting lots of items. The cool thing is with this situation, like I mentioned before, let's say you don't have much gold and you only have a few pieces of gold. Well, you can throw that in there and then start the process and then come back later and then add some more and start it up again. And that wraps it up for all the things you have to know about bartering with piglins for you to go and be an expert in the Nether. Thank you so much for watching this episode of OMG Craft. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye!